Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Let's Play 9 Persons, 9 Hours, 9 Doors. So 9 Doors, 9 Persons. What? 999. So, yeah. Last time we made it through the torture room. I say made it. I kind of stumbled through it, figured things out somehow. And, yeah, we also learned a little more about Lotus and Seven. Because Lotus has 2 daughters, unsurprisingly, the same age as Junpei. One of them is named Nona. It was a name Seven remembered from his time as a cop, one of the kidnapped kids. And Lotus did confirm that her children had disappeared for 9 days, and then suddenly, they were back. Interesting. But she never asked him about that time, and everything was kind of swept under the rug by the media and the police, and yeah, we don't have much to go on with that. But we did make it out of the torture room, and today, outside of the room, a hallway led off to their left. With nowhere else to go, they started down it. It turned left twice before they saw the elevator. In silence, they jogged up to it. Junpei pushed the C button. The elevator motor ground away, and before long they found themselves once again on C deck. The door opened and they stepped off. They'd expected to find 4 other people waiting for them. There were none. Where did they go? I have no idea. Lotus shrugged. Something in the pit of Junpei's stomach stirred. He tried to forget the feeling and took off down the long hallway before him. Seven and Lotus followed at a run. They ran and ran and ran. So far away. The hallway seemed endless. Their destination had already been decided. The door behind the central staircase. There was a sun symbol engraved on the keyhole of that door. And Junpei had the sun key in his pocket. That key would open the door. It had to. That was why they ran for the central staircase. They had run for quite some time when they arrived at the door that ended the hallway. Junpei stopped. He laid his hand on the doorknob, his breathing heavy. Seven laid a hand on his arm. Hold on a sec there. Huh? We don't have the key for this one yet, right? There is the Jupiter symbol engraved over the keyhole. Seven was right. They had no Jupiter key. Then we can't open this door. Unfortunately, no. We can't. Jeez. The sun door's gotta be just on the other side of this, you know? Frustrated, he twisted the doorknob. The door opened. Hey! It opened! What? The others must have found the Jupiter key. Well, what are we waiting for? As he spoke, he shoved the door the rest of the way open. They rushed through. And stopped cold. The terrible scene before them made their blood run cold. 3 people lay dead on the floor, covered in blood. Junpei felt a cold sweat trickle down his spine. He couldn't breathe. His legs shook. His body felt cold, deathly cold. But his blood was boiling hot. He could feel his mind begin to fade. He couldn't think. He couldn't concentrate. His mind was blank. What the hell? What the hell happened? Seven's voice was weak and broken. He edged toward the bodies, his movements stiff. He bent down over Clover and pressed his fingers to her wrist. Nothing. She's dead. Suddenly, Lotus moved. Before he understood what was happening, her hand was in Junpei's vest pocket. Hey, what are you doing? He leapt back. Lotus looked up at him, terrified. The key. Give me the sun key. Why? Why do you think? We have to get out of here before the murderer comes back. The murderer. The murderer. Once again, Junpei looked at the dead bodies. Santa, Clover, and Ace. That meant that the person who had killed them was... No. No, it couldn't be true. Before Junpei could react, Lotus dove back into his pocket and came out with the key. Let's go. Without waiting for Seven or Junpei, she ran straight for the central staircase. They followed. Junpei shut his eyes and swallowed his emotions. Morning would have to wait. Soon they stood in front of the door. Lotus shoved the sun key into the keyhole and twisted it hard. But... Why? What happened? Nothing. Nothing happened. I didn't feel it unlock. Oh no. Is it the wrong key? I don't know. Maybe? Lotus sighed, defeated, and leaned against the doorknob. She felt it twist. A small gap appeared between the door and the frame. What the hell is this? You mean, the door was already unlocked? Why? How would I know that? Whatever, let's just go. Lotus took a deep breath and slowly opened the door the rest of the way. They stepped inside. In front of them was another hallway. It stretched out toward the bow of the ship. Or bow of the ship. I think it's pronounced. I don't know. I'm not a boat person. They began to run. Faster and faster they ran, trying desperately to reach the end of the hallway. A few seconds later, they were there. In front of them stood a massive metal door. Are we about to pant for all three of them again? They were all breathing heavily as Junpei spoke. What the hell is this door? I can't see anything that looks like a doorknob or switch or lever, card reader, or anything. How the fuck are we supposed to open this? We don't have a choice. We're gonna have to go back. No. No. I'm not going back there. There's a murderer back there. There was more stark terror in Lotus's voice than authority. She was almost begging. I don't see any other doors. As he spoke, Seven stepped toward the door in front of them, as if to illustrate that it was the only door. It opened. Nothing surprising, a simple automatic door. Look guys, I've got a really bad feeling about all this. The other doors are already unlocked, and this one's automatic. We haven't seen anything like this before. How could their situation possibly get worse? 3 people were already dead. They'd hit the bottom, Junpei told himself. There was nowhere to go but up. He stepped through the door. And whatever hope Junpei had managed to summon disappeared. No. No. It wasn't true. It couldn't be true. It was impossible. Utterly impossible. It was a dream. It had to be a dream. A nightmare. Yes, it was a nightmare, and if he could just wake up... He was seeing things. Yes, that was it. This was a hallucination. A lie. It wasn't real. It wasn't real. It wasn't real. Right? June. No, the code names meant nothing now. Canny. Canny! Canny! Junpei cried out and leapt through the door. He flew to her side, his heart like a stone in his chest. Canny! Canny! Hang on! Junpei swept her up and shook her by the shoulder. She moaned, and her eyes fluttered open, but only barely. Canny. Jumpy? Her face was pale and her lips were dry and cracked. Her eyes were blank and cloudy. They stared straight at Junpei but saw nothing. Junpei put his hand against the small of her back to hold her up. It felt warm and wet. He lifted his hand up. It was covered in blood. Oh man. Canny, what the hell happened to you? How did this happen? It was all he could do not to break into tears. Jumpy, I'm sorry. Her voice was thin, a minuscule thread that was the only thing keeping her with him. I might not make it. No way. No way am I gonna let you die. I'm gonna save you, I promise. Thank you, Jumpy. Thank you so much for everything. I was really happy to see you again, Jumpy. Really happy. Don't give me that I was crap. You're gonna see me again lots more times. You've just gotta hang on, alright, Canny? You... What could he do? He looked up from Canny, desperate for something. Anything. I like how the narration is calling her Canny now. It's like... Then he saw it. A small submarine. A submarine? What on earth was a submarine doing there? No, that didn't matter. Nothing mattered, except saving Canny. That was the only thing he wanted. Junpei turned his head back to look down at her. Hang on, alright? There's a submarine over there. I'm gonna go see if it works. No. Don't go. Please don't go. Please just stay with me, okay? I want to be close to you, Jumpy, when I... Canny. Jumpy, did you know? You meant a lot to me when we were kids. I've liked you for a long time, Junpei. A really long time. Junpei's vision had gone blurry. It took him a moment to realize his eyes were filled with tears. He could feel a piercing point of heat deep in his heart, like a white-hot flame. Jumpy, do you remember how we hung out a lot when we were kids? We went to the pool and to the fair. Do you remember playing snowball at the school? They're all memories I'll never forget. All of those moments are treasures to me. But I also wanted to go to a lot of other places with you. A lot more. But that won't happen now. No, I mean, yes! Yes, it will happen. We'll go to all sorts of places, Canny. You hear me? I promise, we'll go wherever you want. Really? Yeah, really. I swear. That makes me happy. Really happy. She said it to herself, over and over, a weak smile creasing her tired face. Jumpy, I feel sleepy. No, Canny. Don't fall asleep. Thank you, Jumpy. Thank you so much. Her eyes were slowly closing. Junpei screamed even as he felt his throat go hoarse. Canny! 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 Who did her nails? Alright, that was not the time or place. I'm sorry. Time passed. Junpei wept, curled around Candy's body. He cried and cried until he had no tears left. When the last tear fell, Junpei was no more. His body remained but only as an empty shell. Somewhere he heard a bell ring. It was the clock at the central staircase. It rang 5 times, then faded. 5 o'clock. Quietly, gently, softly, he set Canny down on the floor. Slowly, Junpei stood. Only then did he realize that Seven and Lotus had not followed him. Where had they gone? Slowly, he looked around the room. There was nothing. No sign that they had ever been there. It felt as though every part of Junpei's body was made of lead. Slowly, he made his way to the door he'd come through. As he approached it, it opened, sliding apart with a sound like grinding stone. Junpei passed through the gate and into the hallway. His heart rattled in his chest, an empty, lifeless thing. It had been so utterly broken that there was nothing left to feel. When he saw their bodies, he simply stared. It was a lake, a sea of blood. 2 bodies lay in it. There was no need to check. There was no breath left in them. His eyes lit on Lotus's wrist. Her bracelet, it was gone. He stared. It meant nothing to him. He didn't care anymore. He couldn't care anymore. Junpei's body felt numb. A part of him knew the lump of lead in his chest had once been a heart. He couldn't quite remember what it had been for. Tears poured from his eyes in great streams. He wasn't sure why. He gave up trying to make them stop. He turned around. The door opened again. And slowly, numbly, he walked through. He kept walking. Why stop? An object set in motion. Simple inertia carried him forward. Eventually, he found himself in front of the submarine. His arm reached for the hatch. And then he was floating in water. His eyes stared down into it. He couldn't see the bottom. His back was hot. Dimly, he felt the blade of a knife in it. Who? One dead body lay behind door number 5. The body of the 9th man. Another lay in the shower room. The body of Snake. At the central staircase were 3 more. Ace, Santa, and Clover. Just outside the door were 2 corpses. Those of Seven and Lotus. And in this very room lay the body that had once been Canny. And now Junpei would join them. Who, then, had killed them all? Who? Junpei let out one last breath. Faintly, he felt the bubbles creep up the side of his face. His consciousness faded quickly, dissolving away into the cold, gentle lapping of the water. We get credits for this one? Well. Oh, okay. Also, I think that was a story I had... Or, not story, an ending I had seen before? It seemed oddly familiar. I want to see if I got it somewhere. It's probably going to be on my on one of my backup hard drives, and I don't feel like getting it right now and installing it. But not installing it, but just connecting it. But yeah, I remember I was keeping track of like what endings I had found when I was first playing this. But I know for a fact I've never got the true ending. I know how to get to it, but I don't know anything that happens past a certain point on that path. But I do know like how to get to it. The end. Or is it? Ooh, intrigue. But yeah, like, I mean, I guess me knowing that there is a true ending because I've played this game before, a lot of this stuff doesn't surprise me, or is stuff that I already knew. Yeah, that was a pretty messed up one. So I guess their thoughts were true. Well, some of them at least. That there was another person on that boat with them. Ooh. But then again, Junpei did see blood everywhere. But he really only felt the pulse of 2 people. Just saying. So yeah, and we still got the events that happen in the other endings. Clover kind of going crazy, though it didn't really matter with this ending. And whatchamacallit, Ace going off somewhere with Lotus. We still have a lot of, plot holes that are just waiting to be filled. Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. Also, that ending didn't specifically say bad end. It just happened. Like it just said the end. Or is it? Ooh. Yeah, I'm just checking like my ending order. Actually, there's only one more ending left to get. Technically, well, I mean, okay. Well, one more ending to get before we're going down true ending path. Technically, there are 3. But I'll get to what the technical third one is when we get to it. But yeah, I'm also trying to figure out how I'm going to do this because I mean, it's going to take me a minute to get to it. Well, I say a minute. Really, it's just going to be like 15 minutes of speeding up through text. And I will get more into it when we start going for this next ending. But this one feels a bit rude in my opinion, but I don't have a recollection of doing it. I could be wrong though, but I don't really want to spoil, but we're going to, I mean, like the next part, I'm just going to be doing it from the beginning of the video. So it's not really a spoiler, it's just like a preview. But essentially the next video is going to be that ending. and a lot of story. So yeah, I'm gonna like speed through explaining like, you know, the story as it happens, everything that led up to that point. Because I've done all the paths, like all the possible escape rooms. So yeah, now it's just a matter of going through them in the right order. We see what lies behind every door now. But now we need to tie them together in a way that makes sense. So I'll see you all next time when we do just that. So thank you all for watching, have a great day. And I'll see you next time in the next part of Let's Play 9 Hours, 9 Persons, 9 Doors. Goodbye.